Good evening, Metal Faithful. It is I, your mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And this is the Metal Hammer of Doom, joining me tonight to review our favorite band of all time and their newest release. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are discussing Clutch, the Weathermaker Vault Series, Volume 1, released November 27th, 2020 on Weathermaker Records. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Starcher, how do you do, sir?
Oh, hey now, what is that smell indeed? Mark Radulich, we are talking another bit of Clutch for the year of 2020, and we're not done yet either, which is just great. I can't wait. But new album dropping of stuff we've heard before, I would say. It's just new renditions of things, and I'm excited.
Some of it I don't think I've ever heard before. Like Run John Barleycorn Run, I've never heard before.
Yeah, that got released, I think he said in the video back in 2012 or something. It's been out there, but I mean, like he said in the video, this is Neil Fallon, by the way, he stated that it flew under the radar, which, yeah, it kind of did, but it was like part of the Pigtown Blues CD where they did a split 7-inch with... oh my goodness. I don't think it was Lion Eyes. Maybe it was. Maybe it was Lion Eyes. But anyway, yeah, I mean, we're going to hear a lot of stuff that we've heard before, just great Weathermaker renditions of them. I've got
Jesse, what the hell does that even mean? What is a Weathermaker rendition? What makes something Weathermaker?
I would assume that's the label. I mean, Weathermaker Records, and they're under that label, and therefore.
But I mean,
they're
they released an entire series of acoustic tracks on Blast Tyrant, like the re-release of Blast Tyrant, the double one.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so they took Hallelujah, all the people in back, Tight Like That. They took Tight Like That and they made it acoustic, and they did that to a couple of other tracks. So okay. That's one thing Clutch did. And Clutch has done different iterations of their songs before, but what specifically does it mean when they've re-released it as a Weathermaker? Is it that they're making it acoustic? Are they bringing in extra musicians? Are they recording it in a different style? Does Neil Fallon stick a watermelon up his ass? What happens?
Well, I don't think it's anything special. I think it's just them re-recording and releasing some songs under their Weathermaker brand. So it's definitely not acoustic. When we go through these, I mean, you're going to hear some great renditions of these songs, but it's not all in one certain style. But one of the things that we got excited for was really all these songs got released over the past couple years, right? Because one would drop, and then another one would drop, and another one would drop, until finally they had all these songs ready to go on an album. Like Passive Restraints, which is going to be the first track that we get into, I think was one of the few off of here that wasn't released prior to the album getting released. Although I think how long has this album been out? Like last Friday, right?
It came out November 27th.
Okay, so 2 Fridays ago. The video for Passive Restraints with Randy Blythe dropped 3 weeks ago, according to YouTube. So you could hear that track before the album dropped. We all know Fortunate Son, Willie Nelson, all these other tracks got released prior to it. So I don't know if it's just their way of saying, hey, we've done a new rendition of the track. Here, guys, check it out. And then finally they hit 10 tracks and like, okay, well, hey, we'll just put it together and call it an album. That's maybe one theory I have. I didn't really do a whole lot of research on this album. I listened to it a lot, but as to what went into it,
well, let's put pause on the recording, and you go do research and come back in an hour.
I would like to go to bed at some point tonight.
All right. So some of these are from previous albums. Passive Restraints from the Pitchfork EP, if I remember correctly. Yeah?
Yeah. Passive Restraints got released on Impetus, and it also got, which came out in I think like '97. But it was recorded way before that. And then there was the Passive Restraints, like 3-song. If you find this on Spotify, it came out in '94. That's the one that I actually heard Passive Restraints off of in college.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard the self-titled, and I was like, man, this is some good stuff. To my buddy that actually got me into Clutch, he's like, well, hey, you ought to check out some of their earlier stuff. And he played Passive Restraints for me. It had Impetus, and I can't remember if it was a CD or the tape. But either way, yeah. So that's some early Clutch right there.
Then there's Electric Worry, this redone version of Electric Worry. Everyone knows Electric Worry. That's Bang Bang Bang, Vamonos, Vamonos, which has been in video game commercials, and it's been, I think it was in a TV show. Is that right?
It was on the NFL, like in between breaks, which that's big time in my opinion. When you hear, when they're showing the replay of some guy getting sacked, and you hear bang 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 bang, a Vamonos, I'm like, wow, Clutch has hit the big time now.
Yep. And so that's from Beale Street to Oblivion. Run, John Barleycorn Run, you said was on the Pigtown Blues single. Evil. Had they released that one before?
I don't think so. This is a cover of that. Oh my goodness, I can't remember who originally sang it. But
we talked about this when we talked about what's their nuts. EPMD. No.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's not EPMD. Hang on. It's
EPMD.
BPMD, yes. American made. So we had a whole conversation about that. Where was I? Fortunate Son, I don't think they've ever released before. That's a cover of the Creedence Clearwater Revival. It can also be heard in every Vietnam movie ever made.
Yeah, that wasn't on any album. That was just one that they recorded and had a good time with and dropped. That was dropped, I think, earlier this summer.
Algo Ha Cambiado. Anything?
That's off of one of their albums. Oh, my goodness. I just remember when I was listening to this record and that came on, I was like, man, I am not a fan of that song. I mean, they can... it came off of Strange Cousins, according to what I'm seeing here.
No wonder I don't remember it.
It was buried deep. Track 10 on that one.
Okay. Space Grass is from their self-titled album that everybody loves.
Oh, yeah.
That's old Jesus on the Dashboard. Oh, yeah. Precious and Grace. What's that one from?
I don't think that is one that was released on any album. I want to see if that's an original or if that was a cover, because I had not heard it before this got released. Oh, man. I want to say Precious and Grace got released as a single or whatever here when they were doing these Weathermaker tracks. I'd have to double check the lyrics, but according to what I'm seeing here, just typing in Precious and Grace comes up as a ZZ Top song.
Okay. Hang on one second. Precious and Grace. Yeah.
Precious and Grace.
Let's look at the Clutch version. Let's look at the lyrics and see if we can get a writer credit. Songwriters, Billy Gibbons, Lee Beard, Frank, and Joe Hill. Yeah, that's ZZ Top.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, yeah. Again, it's another cover that they're doing here. It's like they covered stuff, and then they're like, we're going to do some of our own stuff, too, and just kind of put it together. Run, John Barleycorn Run, which, by the way, I know we already kind of talked about that, but I looked that up, and I don't think that's a cover. I believe that's an original.
Okay.
You can find a John Barleycorn folk song out there. I did look that up, and it's nothing like what we're getting here. But all right, go ahead.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything with Clutch. And then finally we have Willie Nelson, which was on the compilation and B-sides album Slow Hole to China.
Yes, man, I have been a fan of Willie Nelson since I'm talking about the song. Since I remember hearing
we skipped Smoke Banshee. That came from Pure Rock Fury.
That's right. But yeah, Willie Nelson, I remember hearing this was off of I think I downloaded it from the internet back in like the early 2000s. So it was somebody caught it at a concert. And I was like, man, this is a really good song. And I've always loved that song. And then when they do this rendition of it on this album, oh my gosh, kicks so much ass.
Well, Jesse, we all know that Willie Nelson smokes the finest weed.
Some good ass weed, sir.
That's right. All right, we're gonna medley these. No sense wasting a whole lot of time. Again, about half of this we've talked about when reviewing other Clutch albums or just being familiar with them. And the other half, I mean, we're gonna have a fun time listening to it, but it is what it is. So we'll do 3 at a time. How's that sound? Sound great?
Sounds great. Sounds
Perfect.
great.
All right, here we go with the first 3 Clutch songs. Passive Restraints featuring Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, Electric Worry, and Run John Barleycorn, Run.
Well, you made me weep, and you made me moan, when you caused me to leave town, my happy home. But someday, baby, you ain't ruin my life alone.
All the
Run, Jesse Starcher, run on home.
Man.
I like to give my son a little pinch and squeal and say, run, John Barleycorn, run. And then he says, who the fuck is John Barleycorn? And I
what are you talking about, man?
I'm Jonas, not John Barleycorn.
I imagine, if this song would have released just a little bit before he was born, Jonas would have never been. He would have been known as John Barleycorn Radulich.
Can I tell you, my son was any number of crazy names I'd come up with. He was almost Thorin Oakenshield.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he was almost Thorin Oakenshield Radulich.
Oh, boy.
There's something else he was where I was.
I assume that your wife stepped in and vetoed that idea immediately.
Not the Oakenshield part. She was very much no, but she liked Thorin.
Oh, well, okay, all right, yeah. So John Barleycorn, by the way, in my little bit of research that I did, do you know what John Barleycorn is? I should just say, do you know what barleycorn is?
Some sort of wheat.
Yes, and it's used for, I believe it's used for beer.
Okay.
So this whole song, the whole song is about wheat that is getting ready to get ground up and used. And I assume
God, I love Clutch.
I assume that the lyrics, the person that's speaking these words, throughout the song is wheat. Or barleycorn, just getting ready to. And at one point he says, come wintertime, yeah, that's right, you're going to treat me like a lord, because at that point you're running out of food, you're running out of stuff you need, and there's barleycorn. It's come through for you. It's got you through the winter, but I'll be damned. Sure enough, come springtime, there's going to be singing in the barn, and you're going to be cutting me again. You're going to put me to the stone, Mark Radulich. You're going to put me to the stone.
All right, can we talk about passive restraints for just 1 minute?
Oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can.
So if you're not paying attention, you will miss Randy Blythe.
Yeah, it would best be served to watch the music video on YouTube. Mm-hmm. He's there. He's in. You can tell immediately when he speaks up at first.
Yeah, he's slightly more gravelly than Neil Fallon.
Yeah, but when I was watching the video, I was like, I really don't know what other parts he sings other than right there at the beginning. But they're doing. I
let it play because they do duet in the middle of the song.
Exactly.
And
That's what
so
I was going to say.
Clutch starts off, and rather Neil Fallon starts off, and then Randy Blythe comes in. But it's literally like a battle of the gravelly glass voices. Like he's slightly more hoarse than Neil Fallon.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you, I can't believe how similar their voices are, especially thinking about Lamb of God. And because it's the one singer, I've never really had to compare it to anybody. But, and also, I think he's more distinctive on the average Lamb of God song than he is here. Here, he's really sounding more guttural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really popped when I saw that they were going to do passive restraints for this album.
Such a good song.
Well, I mean, you don't see them jump back and do much of their heavier stuff again.
Didn't they do it on the last Doom Saloon?
Well, I mean, if we're talking live, obviously they're going to be doing it there. I'm talking about grabbing it and putting it on an album. They're so different. There's such a different style now compared to what they were back in the early 90s. That's not something you normally see them put out there again for somebody to listen to. And the fact that they got Randy Blythe, the Lamb of God, I was like, yes, this will actually kick some serious ass. And in the video, you can see, I mean, I could just pick up that Randy has been a fan of this song for a while. And I bet you he couldn't wait to get in there and sing with Neil. You know how Neil is when he's in front of an audience and sometimes in front of a camera when he's singing. What is it that you guys said? He's not actually singing, he's preaching. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he's got the hand motions. Randy's going along with it, and he jumps in, and you can see him pointing, and they're both looking at each other, and it's a great video just to see them redo this song.
You know, it would have been
Loved
fun before you quit the network because you'd rather buy a house than hang out with me.
Tell me, sir. Tell me.
When we used to review videos, that would have been a fun one to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if we would have had a whole lot to say. I know we both would have been like, oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, we would have been pantsless. It would have been fantastic.
And what can we say about Electric Worry? I mean, really?
I was going to ask you, like this, to me, it is said of Metallica that when Bob Rock produced them for the Black Album, like they had previously from And Justice for All and on back, all the way to Kill 'Em All, that they were a little overproduced. They were a little too clean, a little too sharp.
Uh-huh.
And you would never notice because the average metalhead is just enjoying Metallica. But if you're a producer and you hear Metallica perform live and then you hear them on the album and you're like, there's something missing here. And so Bob Rock said, I'm going to record you. I want to get that essence of your live sound. Mm-hmm. And that became the Black Album, which was, I think the highest selling album of all time for Metallica. It's certainly the one that made them like a mainstream cultural icon that like transcends music. So I listened to Electric Worry, and here's the connection for me. And I've heard Clutch live. And Electric Worry on From Beale Street to Oblivion is a very sharp and very precise, and as much as it's honky-tonk, it's still a very sharp, precise, clean sound. And this iteration of Electric Worry feels like they just walked into the studio, dropped their pants, and started playing.
I mean, you said earlier, this is their most popular song. This is the song that everybody knows pretty much. If you are just a casual metal hard rock fan and you've probably heard this in passing.
People who don't like Clutch know what this song is. Like, they might not know it's Clutch, and they might not know it's called Electric Worry, but they go like, oh, that Bang Bang Vominos Vominos song.
Exactly. And I
want to hit those people?
I don't know. I don't know if this version. I mean, there's a couple subtle differences, obviously, between this version and what we've heard originally. But I don't know if there's anything that makes it really completely stand out to me. I mean, it's just them sitting there playing and having a good time.
Yeah, it just feels it just feels like this wasn't pre-recorded, laying tracks. Like, they just walked into the studio, jammed out Electric Worry, and then like, all right, we're going home now.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, turn off the recording machine.
It isn't anything that is like Electric Worry is their best song. It's not the best song off of this album, in my opinion.
No, it's John Barleycorn Run.
I had a feeling you'd like that one.
So good.
It is. It's of the three, I'm always going to gravitate towards Passive Restraints.
What do you like, metal or something?
I love early Clutch, Arcadia, and the rest of those off of Pitchfork. I was going to
all that old Clutch shit.
Colossus? No, it wasn't Colossus. I can't remember. But anyway, all the heavier stuff. I like their heavier, the heavier influenced stuff that we got before really the self-titled hit. So yeah, I'm down with Passive Restraints out of the first three. You like John Barleycorn Run? Hell
yeah! All right, so we got a couple of covers next. We got Evil. Do you remember who when we looked this up, who they said was the original artist for Evil?
I was actually looking at I'm going to read you something here. This is the Weathermaker Vault Series headlines coming at us from June. This was June 6, 2019. I'm going to read this to you. This is something penned by Neil himself. It says, Clutch has had some sorely needed time off since our last tour, but it didn't take long for us to get bored. So, but I bet they're bored now. So we recorded some songs.
Yeah, famous last words.
We'll be releasing them over the course of this summer. We're calling them the Weathermaker Vault Series. The first song to be released is Evil. And in parentheses, he has Willie Dixon / Cactus. And it will premiere on Dan Carter's BBC One rock show on Sunday, June 9th, and release worldwide June 10th. Also, we're aiming to play it during our set at Download Friday, June 14th. There's plenty more to come, and we will keep you posted. So there you go. The short answer is, according to this, Willie Dixon / Cactus.
All right. And that's followed by Fortunate Son, my number one song of 2020.
Oh,
according
yes,
to
sir.
Spotify, by good old Creedence Clearwater Revival. And I still giggle every time I think about this. Andrew Graham, friend of the network, sent me a picture of a Huey, of a helicopter, and there's a switch, and on the switch it says "Fortunate Son."
Perfect.
And then the aforementioned Algo Ha Cambiato. Cambiato sounds like something you would eat in an Italian restaurant.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Evil, Fortunate Son, Algo Ha Cambiato. All right, so Evil, they did a good job with that one. I love their cover of Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival, written by John Fogerty, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
On the album Willie and the Po' Boys.
That's good stuff right there.
Yes, sir.
So, just to kind of talk about, I definitely want to talk about Fortunate Son, because when...
You want to give us your thoughts on Vietnam?
I've mentioned on the show before. My dad was a big Southern rock fan. He loved hard rock, especially if it came from Creedence Clearwater, Leonard Skinner, whatever. You know, he would enjoy that stuff. I didn't really get the chance to share a whole lot. I was afraid to share Clutch with my dad, because even though I loved them, I didn't know what he would think of them. Now, Dad was pretty open to stuff. It's not like he would listen to it and say it's shit. It was just like, well, you know, I don't know if it would be his kind of thing. Then I made a tape for him one year, and this was probably like in the early 2000s. Dad drove truck for, you know, most of his life. So he wanted stuff to listen to while he was driving. So I was like, you know what? I've got something that he would probably like. I had an idea, and I took all of Clutch's stuff that they did where Neil didn't sing. So anything that you could think of off of any album that had like, just a musical interlude, or almost kind of like Bakerton groupie, but you just go through the albums, and you can usually like Swamp Boat Upside Down, I think is one. But anyway, I took all these songs without Neil singing, and I put them together and put them on a tape for Dad, and I gave it to him, and I said, check this out, see what you think. And I remember him telling me that he enjoyed what he was listening to. And I think the reason I kept the vocals out of it is I knew that could probably make or break something for him. So I was like, I'll just keep the vocals out. But to hear Clutch cover Fortunate Son, I mean, that is something I would have shared with my dad. That is something I would have said, check this out. You got to hear them do a rendition. This is my favorite band in the whole wide world, and they're doing, one of your favorite band's songs. Tell me what you think. So that makes that song pretty special for me. Real quick on Algo a Cambiado, I will do a Google translation just for you, Mark Radulich.
Oh boy!
All right, I'll read this to you, and there's not very. That song's like almost 2 minutes long, but trust me, the lyrics I can read to you in less than 15, 20 seconds. Algo a Cambiado, apparently is directly from the translate, something change. Okay, and the lyrics go as such, translated into English. Please leave me alone, or I'm going to go crazy. I am not who to be.
Okay, apparently this is my theme for when I'm at work.
Wait, it gets better. I am not who to be. Everything I am, something has changed. That hallucinated. I want to live. I'm going to see. The sun is born in the middle of the way, and I'm going to be born too, according to my destiny. So there you go. Google Translate what to save, maybe. Evil's all right. I think that I was trying to go back and find out when they dropped that one, because that felt like a real early one when they were dropping these Weathermaker. I found it. It just says 2019. Well, actually, I just said it was. I just read it off that note. It was like June. June 9th, 2019, worldwide. June 10th. So I think it was one of the earlier ones that got released, and it's okay. It's not one that grabs me. One thing that's missing from here, but I think they're going to play on the live, or Doom Saloon 3. And that cover of, is it Motherless Child that they start out with off that video? I don't know if you listened to it or not. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they do, I did not like Motherless Child when they first did it. And the rendition they do on that video that they're getting prepared for Doom Saloon 3, fantastic. So the point of what I'm saying is I like that sound from Clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Evil didn't grab me like that for some reason. It's a cover, but it just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the song, maybe. But
oh, really? I think it's groovy.
There's a lot on here, like Algo a Cambiado. Why? Why is that here? What is the
Who knows?
Point? What is the
why
point
did they
of that
Why did they release a compilation album called like Monsters and Aliens or whatever the fuck it was called?
Monsters, Machines, and Mythological Beasts.
Yeah,
that
which
at least had a theme. I mean, it all had a theme. We had the Wolfman on there. We had the Minotaur, Cyborg Betty. All that was a theme. This is just like, again.
Why does Clutch do anything that they do? That whole band has ADD.
They could have done something way better than Algo a Cambiado. That's just me, though.
All right. Well, here's the last four songs. We've got Space Grass, Precious and Grace, Smoke Banshee, and tell me about that finest weed, Willie Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
Willie Nelson. Here we go.
Dodge Swinger, 1973, Galaxy 500. Either way, stars green. Gotta go. Dodge Swinger, 1973, top down, chassis low, panel dim, light drive. Jesus on the dashboard. T-minus whenever it feels right. Galaxy 500. Planets align. A king is born. Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right. Dodge Swinger, 1973, flaps down, chassis free. Buzz Aldrin, Armstrong, or maybe just me. Don't worry, it's good. Don't worry, it's good. Jesus on the dashboard, oh yeah! Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right. Whenever it feels right.
Only one thing's for certain, Jesse Starcher only smokes killer weed.
That's right, buddy. So, real quick, before we jump into these last four, I want to make sure I get my facts straight before someone accuses me of not being a big Clutch fan.
Hang on, before you do that, John Barleycorn Run is a British folk song.
Yeah. Is it called Run, John Barleycorn Run, or is it just called John Barleycorn?
I don't know. I did a 30-second Google search, which led me to Reddit.
Yeah, it will. That's kind of what I did too. I saw that if you read it, it's about John Barleycorn, and they're turning it into, I think, beer, I believe. So that leads me to my correction. I wanted to make sure that people got the facts straight, or I got the facts straight at least, and sounded somewhat smart. So that song got released on the split with Lion Eyes in 2014. I said Pigtown Blues, which came out in 2012, and that had Motherless Child, the acoustic version on it. So I was getting that confused because both of those songs were played on that recent Clutch video for promoting the Doom Saloon 3. So, all right, our last four here, Mark Radulich. Space Grass, man.
Jesus on the dashboard.
I mean, dude, that was probably the first song I ever heard out of somebody's mouth that wasn't a Clutch fan but knew a Clutch song.
Yeah.
They knew Jesus on the dashboard. And I was like, oh, you're talking about Space Grass. So, yeah, that quintessential Clutch song. I mean, we got two very quintessential Clutch songs on this album. They're out of the top three, at least, according to the Spotify plays. The second one is Big News 1, of all things, if I remember correctly. Let me look at that and double-check that again.
Well, fortune tellers make a killing every day. Me, oh my.
But, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the Space Grass. Anything else to say on that?
All of these kind of feel like, again, Clutch just kind of walked into the studio, hit the record button, and just jammed. And then we're like, all right, we're done.
Yeah,
like none of these are highly refined.
No, they're not. And again, it's not like they're taking the song and doing a completely different style. It may be a little bit different from what you've heard before.
They almost sound like demos. Like they're more cleaned up than the average demo. But like, have you ever heard the demo for like Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue?
No, I have not.
Like, and you compare that to the produced version. Holy cripe! It's like cripe.
Holy cripe!
Holy cripes! Holy crap! It's like two different songs.
Wow.
So that's why I think this almost feels like these are demos, or like I said, these were just freehand recordings and they weren't overly produced. It was just boom, hit it and get out.
Yeah, and you got to think that there's a possibility that COVID definitely has a play in that, where they just kind of get together. They're like, hey, let's jam, which I respect Clutch for doing that. I love the fact that they're getting together, just having a good time, recording some songs and putting them back out there. I just don't think there's enough on this album to make me go, oh, wow. But then again, that might not be what they're trying to do here. They're just like, hey,
it's not new music. It's re-recordings of old stuff and some stuff they fucked around with. I mean, I think this was like, I think I read that they're in the recording studio now for a new album for next year. And this is what I mean by like they'll just put stuff out just to tide you over. Yeah. Like Monsters, mashed potatoes and
marigolds.
Yes, marigolds. Like that was just a collection of thematically similar stuff that they did, and they put that out just for the fuck of it. The one they did for I think it was breast cancer.
Yeah, I know it's basically all lady songs.
Yeah,
or songs about ladies.
Songs about the ladies.
Yep.
So like I said, like they'll just put out stuff, like here, chew on this for a little bit while we work on the next new album. Or while we're touring.
Yeah.
Like this is a very busy band.
The video for Willie Nelson dropped on YouTube March 20th, 2020. That was like right when the shit went down for us. Mm-hmm. Where lockdown started happening. And
then we all started smoking killer weed.
oh man, that Willie Nelson song and this rendition that they do of that song is just fantastic. I love the video. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the video, but it's hilarious. Neil's in there shaving his beard off. I mean, that's how it starts, is him shaving, and the rest of the video is him clean shaven while he is clearly tripping, or at least had some. He had some killer weed, and there's some people after him, and you don't know if it's real or not, or if it's a dream. But it's good. It's a great video. Smoke Banshee's a little bit of a throwback. I always enjoy that song. Mm-hmm. Precious and Grace is okay. I mean, I'd like to hear the original. I don't know if I've ever heard the original ZZ Top one. But, again, you see Clutch as a band using ZZ Top as an influence, which is really cool in my opinion. But yeah, overall, man, I mean, yeah, like I said, this is just there. We've got some new stuff we haven't heard before. I had a joke that I was going to whip out there earlier in the beginning of this show. You know, this is Clutch's new album called Songs You May Have Heard Before.
Huh.
Because most likely you've heard just about everything on here at some point.
You're
but
funny.
yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. There's Willie Nelson's probably right now my favorite song from Clutch overall. Okay, and you know, as we go along, me and you always, our top Clutch songs sometimes they'll fluctuate. So right now, if you were to ask me what my favorite Clutch song of all time is, I would tell you Willie Nelson is it. So that right there being said, and Passive Restraints being on this album as well, earn high remarks for me. The rest of this stuff is just stuff to enjoy.
Yeah, and I did enjoy it. You know, like there's nothing. I don't think there's a weak song on here, including the Alakazam Kadabra.
Alakazam. Alakazabra.
I love peanut butter sandwiches. Yeah, I enjoyed listening to it. I enjoyed talking about it with you, but it is time to move on and end the show. We'll be back with some more Clutch at the end of the month, December 30th, live from the Doom Saloon Volume 3. That's our New Year. That's our end of the year show. We're going to review that concert, but we're also going to talk about the past year, and what are some of our favorite tracks were, some of the stuff we hadn't gotten to listen to, our typical year-end show stuff. So that's coming at you December 30th. But in the meantime, we got 2 more shows left. We got Public Enemy, What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down. You better be ready when the grid goes down. And then we have our Christmas show, which we almost had to call an audible on.
Yeah, it came close.
Because Poppy released a 4-track EP of Christmas songs. But it's not the Poppy that we like. It's Pop Poppy. Yep. It's me. So, and it's only 4 songs, so I'm not going to waste an entire show on 4 songs.
Yeah.
So we're sticking with Majestica, which I did listen to, and it's quite good. So Majestica, A Christmas Carol, which is out now. You can go listen to it. We're going to review it the night before Christmas Eve. That is our annual Christmas show that we like to do. We always like to do a Christmas metal album of some kind. So that's what we got going on. Public Enemy, When the Grid Goes Down, and Majestica, A Christmas Carol, and then Clutch, Live from the Doom Saloon, Volume 3, and that's December. That's 2020, baby. In the meantime, on December 16th is the Superblog Team-Up. Our contribution to the Superblog Team-Up is Captain Confederacy. You can
controversial.
Yeah, wow, it's been a long time since I've heard that. But I'll tell you, what all the kids are listening to and everyone's enjoying, myself, Cole Marentet, and Alexis Haina, we reviewed My Little Pony Transformers, Friendship in Disguise. Fantastic. It was fucking fantastic.
Yes, sir.
We had a couple of wrestling reviews. I did one with Chris Bailey, and I did one with Chris Sheehan. I split the difference. We did AEW Winter is Coming, when Kenny Omega beat Jon Moxley like a thief in the night for the AEW title. And then
like a thief in the night. Oh, sorry.
And then showed up on Impact, and apparently they had a massive turnout to watch Impact. They went from the usual 0.05 to 0.08.
Oh,
or some shit like that. Nobody watches Impact, even when Kenny Omega's on.
Huh.
And then we reviewed Takeover, which the girls tried to murder each other. in their War Games match. So me and Christine talked about that. And then tomorrow, we were supposed to do it last week, but the Graham family fell ill, so they're finally on the mend. We're going to talk about The Crown Season 4, myself and the two Canadians from our Canadian office, Dave Wright and Andrew Graham. So that's what we got going on right here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. Jesse, you got some unspoken issues you want to talk about?
Yeah, we're supposed to be recording that this coming Saturday, so it'll be me and Chris Armstrong, I believe, talking about a Thunderbolts issue. So if you like 90s comics, and this is supposed to be the big twist, I haven't read it yet, but I've heard a lot about the Thunderbolts and what happens in it. So tune in, check it out. That's Unspoken Issues coming up. Most likely that will air the following Wednesday. And, this coming Saturday should be my second episode ever that I recorded for the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. I'm re-airing those episodes in edited form, shined up, polished a little bit. And this will be, I think this is Hulk Thing Hard Knocks, I believe. Either way, it's going to be airing. It's called Syndicated Source Material. If you like comics, check it out. It's going to be dropping 9 o'clock Saturday, every other Saturday. So there you go.
Are you going to do an Unspoken Issues Christmas issue?
I have no idea. I don't know what Chris Armstrong's plans are. I do know that he's got plans.
Didn't you do the Punisher Christmas one year?
I don't know if we did the Punisher Christmas special or if we were planning on it and never did it. I thought me and you did that. I can't remember, dude. I seriously have no idea.
You'll have to dig into your spreadsheet, because if you haven't done it, you really should.
We did we're over 200, and what you've been doing and contributing, we've got to be getting close to 3 now. 300 episodies.
I don't number my episodes.
I do, and now you screwed me all up. No, I'm just kidding.
just think of me as source material unplugged.
That's exactly what I do.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us here on the Metal Hammer of Doom and our review of Clutch. For Jesse Starcher, run, Jesse Starcher, run. Be well, be safe, and behave.